There is a work of sheer beauty.
Never knew fancy scratchings to make a gun shoot any better.
Fancy scratches, that's etchings, my boy. No other gun done quite like her.
Now, a gun's a gun. It's all in the man behind it.
Is that a fact? I'll have you know that I won every target shoot to Sacramento Fair for the past 6 years.
Well, now, that makes it all kind of too bad.
What does?
'Cause I'm afraid your winning streak's gonna have a break in it this year.
Now, is that a fact?
Well, there's one consolation.
Uh-huh. What's that?
Oh, it will all stay in the family.
Morning, Silas.
Good morning. All the bags in the carriage except Miss Audrey's.
Good. I think you got enough food in here to feed an army.
Miss Barker's orders before she went to Sacramento.
Never make a statement like that to me, boy, and walk away.
$20 against that scratched-up rifle.
$20? Well, now, you can't back up your challenge. It's very much of a bet now, can
Say,
you?
Nick, would you see what's keeping order? We're going to miss the train.
And you tell your brother about my target shooting, will you?
I don't know what he said, but take the bet.
$40!
Oh, howdy. I think he's rattled. That's half the winning.
Oh, Silas, did you put Miss Audrey's pickled cucumbers in there?
Right in here. I sure hope she wins ribbon this year.
Silas, why do you think Mrs. Barkley went up to the fair in advance? To be on the planning commission? She went up there to buy off those cucumber judges.
Oh, Mr. Barkley.
Last train to the fair, leaving in a half hour.
Come in.
Come on. You're holding everybody up.
Would you get my bags for me, please?
All right.
Oh, it happens every time I rush.
What happens every time you rush?
I don't turn out right.
When you turn out right enough to get your proper share of looks from the boys, I wouldn't worry about it.
I'm not in the least bit concerned about the boys. Oh, Nick, I forgot my bag. I'll be right down.
All right, hurry up. Come on, Audra.
Be right there.
Come on. Time and trains wait for no man.
Where are my cucumbers?
I got them right here.
Don't drop that.
I'd rather cut off my arm.
Oh, excuse that.
Audrey, you're holding up the parade.
He's not in the depot. I know. He's in the hotel.
Yes?
The bellboy, Dr. Travers.
What is it?
A message for you, sir.
Well?
I'm sorry, sir. There just wasn't a seat left on the morning stage.
Well, I explained at the desk how important it was for me to get passage.
I checked myself, sir. There just wasn't a seat left. Not even up with the driver.
What about a train?
Oh, there's a train going to Sacramento in a little while, but nothing else till tomorrow.
How little is a little while?
You said you were going to Modesto?
I've changed my mind.
Well, train leaves at 3 o'clock. That's in about 15 minutes.
Okay, son, thanks.
Sure thing. Hey, you want me to carry a case for you?
No, thanks. I can handle it.
Oh, okay. Oh, if you're going to Sacramento, you might look in at the fair.
Well, thanks, son. I just might do that.
Goodbye.
now, it just should be a state fair every day in the year.
Your liver wouldn't stand it.
If my liver can survive all that red eye, I guess I can stand this imported juice to drink today, huh, Jared?
Charlie, nothing will ever slow you down.
$10 says my Brahma takes yours in the judging, Jared.
Now, Abe, I thought you learned your lesson last year.
Is it a bet?
All right, it's a bet.
Good. Let's make it 20. I feel lucky.
Done.
Oh, excuse me. I'm looking for the smoking lounge.
Oh, well, this is the last car. It's up the other way.
I'm sorry. This is a
Jared?
private party.
All right.
Oh, hello. How have you been?
Hello.
Charlie Wellman.
Dr. Travers, Mr. Wellman. Have we met before?
Well, I thought we had. I guess I made a mistake. Excuse me, Doctor.
And excuse me.
I'm Jared Barkley, Doctor. If you think you can stand the bedlam in here, you're more than welcome to stay and have your smoke.
I wouldn't think of intruding. The vestibule will do just as well. Pardon me all.
Right, all right.
I always put a little cinnamon in my pickled cucumbers.
So that's how you win the blue ribbon every year.
Well, I didn't put any out this year. What with the needlepoint I'm entering, I just didn't have the time.
Oh, the last 2 drumsticks, but for a lovely lady.
Jared, guess what? Grace isn't entering her pickled cucumbers this year.
Oh, now that's too bad.
Oh, no, it isn't. That's good. Now maybe I'll have a chance with mine.
Hey, what is it?
Just a stitch.
Now, what do you mean, just a stitch?
Well, it's nothing. It's gone. Give me that food. I'm starving. Come on, you two. For heaven's sake, stop frowning.
Hey, honey, what is it, Audra?
It's my stomach.
There was a doctor just in here. I'll get him.
What'd you do now? Eat some of your pickles?
She's got more sense than that.
My pickles are fine. And as I recall, you both had some yourselves. Oh, I feel sick.
Hang on, sis. The doctor will be here in a minute. Everything's gonna be all right.
Excuse me, Charlie.
Excuse me, please. Would you mind?
Oh, yes, Doctor.
Thank you.
Honey, this is Dr. Travers.
How do you do, ma'am? Well, what seems to be the trouble?
It's my stomach. Here.
Has it been bothering you long?
It started this morning, just before we left the house.
Did you eat something you shouldn't have?
Nothing the rest of the family haven't had.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'll get my bag. You might put her on the sofa over there, huh?
All right, Doctor.
Come on, honey. Let's move over there.
Doctor, I'm Nick Barkley. Could you tell me how she is?
I won't know until I examine her, Mr. Barkley.
Oh.
Well, I wonder if you could get everybody except the family to please clear the car.
Oh, yes, fine. Thank you, Doctor.
We got a nice reception party waiting for you up the line.
Just relax, Miss Barkley. Hey. Now, you just rest easy, huh? Everything's gonna be all right, honey.
Jared, it's really beginning to hurt.
We're doing everything that we can. And that's more than enough. Now, open your mouth.
What's that?
Laudanum. It'll help deaden the pain. Painless? She has a badly inflamed appendix. Are you sure? I'm sure.
Well, what are you going to do?
There's no cause for immediate concern. Do you suppose there's any ice on this train?
There was some produce loaded in Stockton. It'd be packed in ice, wouldn't it?
I could use some. 5 or 10 pounds. I'll get it.
Is there anything else we can do?
Just help me get her as comfortable as possible.
Well, Heath?
The doctor says it's her appendix. I've got to get some ice.
Appendix.
The ice will keep the swelling down. You're going to be fine, just fine.
Doctor,
Any pain?
not now.
You see? I'll try to get some rest.
Doctor, thank you for being here.
Is that all there is to it? For now. The ice will control the swelling until we get to the next stop. You've got to take her off, get her to a hospital.
The next stop is River Station. There isn't any hospital there.
It's just a small mail pickup. There's not another hospital between here and Sacramento.
4.5 hours.
We could cut that down if we passed up some of the stops.
Any time you save would be a help.
Suppose I talk to the conductor.
So?
So,
Well, how are you feeling?
I don't feel a thing. Unless it's my wings.
Wings?
I think if I tried, and not too hard, I could fly right now.
Oh. Well, that's the medicine the doctor gave you.
No, it isn't. You always said I was as flighty as a bird. They're my bird wings.
You know, you're probably right. Anything I can get for you? You just name it.
Would you make sure my pickled cucumbers get into the judging at the fair?
You can count on it.
Even if my pickled cucumbers haven't got any cinnamon in them. They're pretty good, aren't they?
Well, You bet they are.
Nick? I wonder what Mother will say when she meets the train in Sacramento.
They're going to pick up as much time as they can.
What about the stop at River Station?
Well, there's 2 passengers getting off, and there's a mail pickup. But they're going to cut it short. The conductor figures we'll make it to Sacramento in 3 hours.
What about it, Doc? Can she hang on that long?
I don't know. I certainly wouldn't like to operate on this train.
Operate?
Do you think it'll come to that? Mr. Barkley, could very easily come to that.
Doctor?
What is it?
Well, I suppose it isn't any of my business. But what happened on that platform just a while ago?
You're right. What happened on that platform is none of your business. You see, everybody transgresses in life, Mr. Barkley. Some are less fortunate than others. Has a way of catching up with them.
I suppose it isn't necessary to tell you how grateful we are for your help.
No, it isn't.
But then words are only words, aren't they? If there's anything that my brothers and I can do to
There's
repay
nothing
you,
you can do.
these transgressions you spoke of. I'm a lawyer.
If this was a legal matter, that man you saw on the platform would be a law officer. And if he were a law officer, he wouldn't hesitate to come in here and get me.
Then who is he, Doctor?
Who is he? I don't know his name. But like some others, he's a man that wants to see me dead.
Where's Heath going?
She's going to send a telegram to Sacramento. So that they'll be waiting for us. It's all right.
Where are you going, Doctor?
I'm running. I'm running as far and as fast as I can. I'm sorry about your sister, but don't try to stop me.
Doctor, listen to me. I don't know what this is all about, but you can't leave now.
Mr. Barkley, stay out of this, huh?
Doctor, whatever it is, my brothers and I will help you, but please, don't leave now.
Just the 3 of you? I don't think there's much that you can do.
Take it easy. Please, take it easy.
Where's the doctor? Where's the doctor?
What happened?
Well, she just sat up and started screaming. She's in pain.
Please take it easy.
Where the devil is that
Doctor
doctor?
will be here in a minute. Take it easy now. It's just what she doesn't need.
Well, she's in pain, Doctor. Miss Parker, listen to me.
Oh, doctor, please help me.
Listen to me. No more laudanum. The only way that we can keep a check on the progress of the inflammation is by the severity and the repetition of pain. Now, if I sedate you and your appendix would burst, I wouldn't know it.
Appendix?
Boy, you must have known that. You must have sensed it.
Of course you did.
Now you're going to be all right. I got the wire off to the hospital.
Doctor, I want to thank you for staying.
I don't think that running would have helped in the long run. I'll stay with the train until it gets to Sacramento. Until they come and pull me off.
Meldon Ford will bring him here. Right here. It's been a long wait.
Aaron, the boy shouldn't be at the hanging.
Don't start that.
Do it for her.
Cut it out.
Send him back.
No.
Send him back to the ranch, Aaron.
Think you should go back to the ranch? Come on. Andy? Go on, tell him.
No need for you to be here, Andy.
What?
Going back to the ranch, son.
Not likely.
You never saw him before in your life.
Just same, I know him better than you do.
Aaron, you did real fine.
If you haven't got any stomach for it, Deke, why don't you go back to the ranch?
You know, I ramrodded for your pa long before you was born. I cuffed you once or twice while you growed.
Yeah. Well, after today, there's nobody gonna cuff me.
This telegram just came from Ford.
They failed. Kelleher is still on the train. Men, you ride on to the watering stop. Wait. My boy and I won't fail. We'll board the train and we'll take him off there.
All right, mount up.
I'm right here.
I'm scared,
You're
Doctor.
going to be all right, Miss Barkley. I promise you. You're going to be all right.
Somebody's after him. He doesn't know who, and he won't say why.
Miss Barkley, there's nothing I can do to ease your pain.
Dr. Travis.
What is it, Mr. Barkley? Did you expect some saccharine story to cheer her up? Well, the occasion doesn't call for it. It calls for honesty.
Fine, that's just fine. And perhaps you can tell us what sort of trouble you're in.
think you have enough trouble of your own.
Yeah, but it seems to be all wrapped up with yours.
Well? Well, let's just say, for some, blood for blood is the only just punishment.
Be along any time now. You sure stood up to Deke like the son I raised.
You know, sometimes I can't figure Deke. I mean, it was my mother that was killed.
I told him you'd feel like that. Wouldn't want somebody else to do your job for you. I told him. Drink, son? Go ahead. You're alongside of me today. You're man enough. Pity you didn't get to really know your mother.
Well, you've made it so I know her. It's like I know the man that killed her.
With the touch of her, the way she walked. Finest woman that ever set foot on the earth. She'll rest easy soon.
Yes, she will, Paul.
You know what they say about frowning, don't you?
No, what do they say?
Gives you wrinkles. Don't you worry. It looks nice on you.
Oh, you think so, do you?
Sort of distinguished looking. You know, I think it's a good idea for lawyers to be distinguished looking. Don't you?
Well, I think it's an even better idea for him to win a case once in a while. Hang on, honey. Hang on tight.
I'm really a case, aren't I?
You're a mighty pretty one.
Hey, remember 3 years ago when you took me to San Francisco to see that play?
I sure do.
After it was over, I said I wanted to be an actress.
You know, I think you would have made a pretty good one.
Jared?
What?
Really, I'm gonna be all right.
Of course you are.
Don't worry.
I don't mean no harm to you people.
Easy, Mr. Barkley.
Barkley? You Tom Barkley, son?
That's right.
Well, if you don't mind, Mr. Barkley, this is the man I'm looking for.
Oh, now, wait a minute.
Stand back! None of your concern.
Believe me, it's our concern.
Take a look at him, son. Take a long, hard look. That's the one. That's the one that we've been waiting all these years to hang. You don't even remember me, do you?
No.
You hear that, Andy? The name is Moyers. Aaron Moyers.
That was a long time ago.
It was yesterday. It's been yesterday for 15 years.
Why are you after Dr. Travers?
Doctor? Travers? Why didn't you try Kelleher? That's Lucian Kelleher.
Is that true?
Yes, it's true. Lucian Kelleher. The outlaw who sacked Colbyville. Burned it to the ground.
The man who destroyed the work of a dozen lifetimes. The man who killed my wife and 5 others.
He's also the man that was sent to prison for 13 years.
We should have been hanged.
The law said he should go to prison for 13 years, and he did.
He bought the law.
Look, whatever happened, happened. The man served his sentence. Right now, he's very useful. He's a doctor.
You can't be a doctor.
You're not fool enough to believe that, are you?
Doctor! Doctor!
Stay away from her, Kelleher.
She needs help.
I said stay away from her. All right, that's it. Is it? I got men waiting at the watering stop to take him off the train.
Well, they won't if we don't stop.
Everything's going to be all right.
You can't get away with this, Kelleher. I mean to see you hanged.
Stand back.
Easy now. Easy.
I tell you, that is Lucian Kelleher. You can't let him escape.
Easy now, easy. Take it easy, honey. Here's some more.
Your father himself would have been the first to help string him up.
Our sister needs him.
He's an animal. He's got to be killed.
Why don't you just ask? Why don't you ask if he's got some kind of papers to prove he's a doctor?
He's a fake. He is going to kill that girl, same as he did the other.
Stand back and don't you move. Don't you dare move.
Easy, easy, quiet.
Mr. Barclay? What is it? I can't wait any longer. I'm going to have to operate.
You're not going to let him put a knife to your sister.
I spent 13 years in prison for what I did. 10 of them working in the prison hospital. During that time, Lucian Kelleher ceased to be. When I was released, I continued my practice in small cow towns and gold camps. I was the only doctor the people in those places knew. I mended their broken bones, sewed their torn flesh, delivered their babies, helped bury the dead. Now, maybe I didn't pay for Colbyville yet, but one thing, I'm gonna save this girl's life.
What can we do to help?
The first thing you can do is stop this train. I can't operate while it's moving.
Now, you know, if we stop, those men may catch up.
And if we don't, her appendix may burst. All right, Doctor.
I'll uncouple this car. We'll send the train on ahead for help.
Now, help me move her in the rear compartment. I'll operate in there.
Right, Doctor.
You two boys get over there.
The minute this car stops, my men will swarm all over you.
And you won't be alive to see the first one board. That's a promise. Now move out.
They're my men. One word from me and they open fire.
Well, as soon as they get within calling distance, you better tell them to stop.
I don't have to see Kelleher dead. Just knowing that he's going to be is enough. There'll be a bloodbath that none of you will ever forget.
Moyers, you give me 30 minutes and I'll go with you. Now, wait a minute. I haven't got time to argue. What about it?
Minutes.
Tell your men. You stay with me.
Hold up there! You men wait till I call you.
Well, now, mister, you better just pray they do what you say. Because if they come any closer, you're a dead man.
Don't you worry. When Kelleher finishes butchering your sister, you'll help us hang him.
After we finish, we got to get her to a hospital as quickly as possible before infection sets in. These aren't the most sanitary of conditions.
That train should be back before too long.
Good. Okay. Wash your hands in this whiskey. Now, hold on to this laudanum. She may need some more.
All right.
Thread. Simple little tie at the base. Scalpel. Needle. There we are. All right. I'll just make sure that she gets plenty of rest, huh? She all right? Yeah. In a few weeks, she'll forget it ever happened.
All right, Kelleher. Let's go.
He's not going with you.
He gave me his word.
We didn't.
My men.
Moyers, I'll have every lawman in this state after them. I promise you.
Well, I want Kelleher.
Well, mister, you're not gonna get him.
Yes, I will. Hold it!
Andy! Get Kelleher!
This is for my mother. I waited all my life for this. You stay back. He's not what you said. He didn't kill my mother.
He's Kelleher!
You heard him. You saw him the same as me. Lucian Kelleher is dead. All my life I've waited. And he's dead. All my life.
We're finished here.
Train's coming back for us, honey. Won't be very long till you're nice and comfortable in a hospital.
Was I terrible? Screaming and carrying on.
Screaming and carrying on? Doctor, in all your travels, you ever treated a patient better than our sister here?
Your sister gets first prize.
Speaking of prizes, would you remember to enter those pickled cucumbers into the fair?
You may not win our shooting match, but you just might place with those cucumbers.
Wait a minute now, those cucumbers aren't mine, they're...
Howdy. Getting ready to open up?
This weekend.
That'd be real nice having a store right there. Well, good luck.
Thanks.
Oh, Heidi Lou, what brings you to town?
Heath Barkley sent me in from the mine. Wants me to tell you they'll be coming in tomorrow night with a load of gold for the San Francisco Mint.
Oh, the San Francisco train don't leave till 9 o'clock. I ain't sitting around watching it.
They'll have their own guards.
Oh.
When?
Tomorrow night, about supper time.
How much, amigo?
50,000.
I sure don't mind getting my fingers dirty for that kind of money.
take it right through to Merced on tomorrow morning's train. That is, if it doesn't go through the floor of the baggage car. What do you got in that trunk, rocks?
It feels like it sometimes. No, I'm a book salesman. These are my samples.
Oh. Seems to me if I was going to go on the road, I'd get me a line of feathered pillows.
You know, sometimes I wish I had.
Step over to the desk and I'll make out your receipt.
They are. This one's like the canary I had when I was a child.
I remember. You called it Bo Peep.
I thought you named him Sassafras.
Sassafras was my cat.
That's right, it was Sassafras. I remember he was one with a pleased expression on his face when Bo Peep disappeared.
Only because you left him out of the cage.
Mm-hmm.
Elaine? Victoria? Elaine Baxter! Oh, Elaine!
Well,
Oh, it's been so long.
How have you been?
Just fine, fine. Oh, Elaine, I want you to meet my daughter, Audra.
Audra?
My
Hello.
son, Nick.
Howdy.
Elaine and I have been friends, good friends, for many years. Now, what on earth are you doing in Stockton?
Well, this is our store. We're opening it. Oh, I never wrote you. Oh, well, I got married 3 years ago in Denver. I'm Mrs. Bert Jason now. Oh. Oh, come inside. I want you to meet Bert. Come on.
I think you better make that a gross.
Oh, yes, sir, Mr. Jason.
Bert, can you break away?
Excuse me.
Yes, sir.
Oh, Victoria, it's so good to see you. Bert, this is Victoria Barkley, one of my oldest and dearest friends.
How do you do, Bert?
It's a real pleasure. Elaine has spoken of you often.
And this is her daughter, Audra, and
How do you do?
her son...
Nick.
Nick, yes, I'm sorry.
Glad to meet you, Nick.
Same here.
Why didn't you let me know you were coming here?
Well, I was going to, but, well, we had to get set up and get the store open.
Excuse me, Mr. Jason. I'll have these things for you first of the week, if you care to pay for them now.
Well, here, I'll just sign and you can send me a statement.
Oh, well, you see, my company has a regulation about that.
What kind of a regulation?
Gentlemen, this sounds like business, and I have some other things I have to attend to, so if you'll excuse me.
Certainly.
Mother, Audra, I'll meet you at the delivery stable in about a half hour, all right?
You see, Mr. Jason, it's not that we don't want new business. No, sir.
What is the problem?
Oh, well, ma'am, it's just you don't seem to have your credit established over at the bank as yet, and...
Well, that'll take just a few weeks. We have to open first, start making money.
Oh, I understand, Mr. Jason, but, you see, well, with the company, that's something else again. They feel if you don't have your credit established right off, why...
Well, what you're saying is that we're a bad risk.
Oh, no, not at all. Oh, no, sir. But, well, you just get set up and you let me know, and I'll be glad to take an order. Well, good day.
How are we supposed to get the merchandise we need without credit?
Bert, there are other companies. We'll make it.
Of course you will. Stockton is a growing town, and we can use you here.
Thank you, Victoria.
Audra, we must be going. Now, we're going to be your very first customers, only if you will have dinner with us as soon as you can.
We promise. Don't we?
Bye.
Excuse me. Ladies. Good afternoon.
I'm terribly sorry we're not open yet for business.
Yes, I know. I gathered that from the sign outside in the window, but I was hoping you'd sort of make an exception in my case. No, I'm sorry. We're not open until the weekend. Oh, that's too bad. You see, I need these things for tonight. Tonight? Yes, I can't wait for the weekend.
Well, let me see your list. Shovels, pickaxes, shoring boards, buckets, kerosene. Oh, Bert, we have all of this in the basement. We can take care of this gentleman.
I'd be very much obliged. Will you want all this stuff now? No. You can take your time, gather them together. I'll come back around supper time and pick them up, if that's all right.
Well, that'll be fine. We'll have it ready then.
That's most kind of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Bert, Jason, I'm going to have to give you lessons in salesmanship. This is quite a big order, whether we're open for business or not. But aren't you pleased?
Sure, I'm pleased.
Well, let's get these things out. It'll be supper time soon. Come on.
Who's winning?
I am. I understand you were in Stockton today. How come you didn't stop in and say hello?
Oh, Audra and I had so many errands to do. I don't know where the time went to.
Well, Nick tells me you ran into an old friend.
Yes, I did, and it was quite a surprise. She was Elaine Baxter. Of course, her name now is Elaine Jason. Anyhow, she and her husband are opening a general store here in Stockton.
Oh? Well, the town could use another general store.
We certainly could. Bandy's is always running out of things.
I think they'll do very well, with a little help getting started.
Why don't we give them a party and introduce them to all our friends?
Well, I'm sure they would appreciate that, but they need much more than customers right now.
What?
Credit.
Well, haven't they talked to the bank?
So did I. But it seems the Jasons have run into a lot of bad luck. The store in Denver burned down, and the one they opened in Albuquerque, they had to close that one, too.
They were weathered in for 2 months. The bank agreed that it wasn't their fault, but they still couldn't help them.
Well, banks are supposed to be cautious institutions, you know. It seems to me that what your friends need is someone substantial to guarantee their credit.
Well, as a matter of fact, I was going to bring up that matter at dinner tonight.
Uh-huh. Well, now, do you think they're a good risk?
Yes, I do.
Well, I don't.
Bert Jason. That name rang a bell with me this afternoon when I first heard it, so I'm checking into it.
Well, what did you find out?
Here it is, all here. Bert Jason, 6 years ago, Oklahoma Territory. Armed robbery. No conviction. 5 years ago, he shot down a man in Dodge City in self-defense. At the same time, he was running around with an outlaw by the name of Frank Calder.
Well, Nick, what does that prove?
What does it prove?
Jared, self-defense, no conviction. Now, you're the lawyer. Tell us what it means.
Well, very simply, it means he's as free a man as anybody else. But don't you think it's kind of strange that your friend would marry a man like that?
Well, maybe she didn't know about him, or maybe he's changed. Oh, Nick, you were there today. You saw him. What did he look like to you? A killer? An outlaw?
Mother, you can't judge a man by the way he looks.
My father, your grandfather, and Elaine's father were prospectors together. When my father was killed in the mine collapse, Elaine's family took me in. They didn't have to, but they did. They saw to my upbringing, my schooling, everything. Now, I want to help them. I'll take full responsibility.
Well, now, I don't think that'll be necessary. After all, we still are a family, aren't we? I think if Heath were here, he would agree, too. I think we're all in agreement.
Thank you.
By the way, Nick, a rider came down with a message from Heath. He'll be in tomorrow night with that shipment of gold, $50,000 worth.
Well, that means we're going to be on guard duty at the depot.
All night.
Oh, come in. We've been expecting you. Please. We have everything ready for you. Bert, do you have the bill?
No.
Thought it was here somewhere.
Just keep your mouth shut and don't you make any noise. Don't try nothing.
What? What is this, Bert?
I don't know. Just do as he says, Elaine.
That's good advice, Mrs. Jason. I suggest you take it. Relax now, folks. We're going to be visiting with you for a while.
What is it you want? We're not open yet. We have no money.
We don't want your money, Mrs. Jason.
Well, what then? Merchandise? Take it.
We don't want your merchandise either. Although we may want to use some of it. And everything we need seems to be right here.
There's a bedroom and kitchen in the back.
That's good. Mrs. Jason, I think we might all enjoy some coffee. Do you have any?
Yes, we have coffee.
That's fine. Would you make us some, please?
We'll do anything you ask. Just don't harm my wife.
I assure you, no one's going to be harmed. Providing no one tries to harm us. The coffee, please.
Dave.
Pretty little one, Pajarito. You don't like the cage, no?
Help me take these things downstairs.
When we leave, I'm gonna set you free also, amiguito.
Boy, cut it out. Leave that bread alone.
This one I take with us. He can keep us company and sing for us while we work. There, Pajarito. Look at the light. It'll make you happy.
This will be the wall facing the baggage depot, would it not?
That's right.
Give me the Maddox. Mostly sand. We'll have to shore up as we go. You have the lumber?
Over there.
Porter, go get the lumber. Well, let's get started. What are you waiting for?
How much gold will there be?
50,000, I understand. Much more than we expected. And in Mexico, it'll command an even higher figure. Come on, go get the lumber.
Don't worry, amiguito. When we leave, I'll set you free.
Coffee? I gotta hand it to you, lady. This here's good.
What time is it?
I don't know. I ain't got a watch. Late, I reckon.
What are they doing down there?
Digging?
Digging?
Yeah, digging. You know, in the dirt.
For what?
Well, that's a good question. I asked myself that question lots of times. Back when I lived on my pappy's ranch. Work the dirt, boy. That's what he used to say. Work the dirt. It'll pay. But all I ever got was raw hands and a busting back. I don't know, though. This here's different. My turn comes down there. I reckon my pappy was right. This here's gonna pay.
Bert, what's happening?
Dave, go on downstairs and help Border. We're gonna rest a bit.
Right. Lady sure makes good coffee.
They're using our cellar to tunnel across to the baggage depot.
There's a shipment of gold coming in tomorrow night, and we're going to take it.
I don't understand. Obviously, you're an educated man. How could you do such a thing to decent people?
Well, it's very simple. Until a few years ago, I was a school teacher, entrusted with the future welfare of my students. And while I was highly esteemed, or pitied, I found it very difficult to live on 30 cents a day. That's what your decent people paid me. And so one day, I said I simply had enough. Does that answer your question, Mrs. Jason? If it does, I suggest you go to the bedroom there and get some sleep. Tomorrow is another day. You'll go about your business as usual. I don't want people to come in here and see you in, shall we say, an overwrought condition.
Do as he says, Elaine.
And remember, there will always be a gun pointed at one of you. Is that clear?
Yes, quite clear.
I'll be all right. You go ahead.
You know, when I lived on a school teacher's pay, I used to use parched corn for coffee grounds. They say they grow coffee in some parts of Mexico. Perhaps when we get down there, we might even buy a plantation.
Yeah.
No, I mean it. Why not? How do you think tycoons and land barons got their start?
You know anything about growing coffee?
No, but... What is it? Are you nervous?
I'm all right.
Well, it's understandable if you were. You've been out of action for a long time.
Look, I only asked if you knew anything about growing coffee.
One thing I learned. Never listen to what a man says as much as how he says it. It's her, isn't it? That's what's bothering you. You don't like the idea of leaving her behind.
No.
It is, Bert, I know. Now listen, she's not your type.
Oh,
she's not. I know. You like them wild and young. They gotta make you feel like they're fish jumping in your veins. You're gonna be a rich man, Bert. And a happy one, I guarantee it.
Barkley. Audra?
Hello, Bert.
Oh, what can I do for you?
Where's Elaine?
Well, she's gone out.
Oh, well, I really wanted to talk to you.
Mr. Jason, are those new dresses?
Yes, they just came in from San Francisco.
Really? Excuse me, Mother. I think I'll look at them.
Well, you're finally getting straightened out. Quite a job, isn't it?
Yes, it is. What is it you wanted to talk to me about?
Bert, I know who you are. Or rather, who you were and what you were.
So?
Does Elaine know?
Well, I told Elaine I'd had some trouble once, that's all. I saw no reason to say more.
I see.
What's past is past. It's over and done with. Unless someone wanted to revive it.
I'm devoted to Elaine. You know that. I only want to help.
Help?
Well, I won't go into sentimental reasons, but I've instructed the bank to issue you credit until you can get on your feet.
Oh, Mrs. Barkley, I don't want your help.
Well, I don't understand. Why?
Well, I just don't want it, that's all.
What about Elaine?
Well, what about her?
Well, don't you think she should be considered?
Mrs. Barkley, the store here. Our coming to Stockton was her idea, not mine. We've had stores, 2 before this. Well, this one isn't going to be any different. You work from sunup till sunset, waiting on people hand and foot. Yes, Mr. So-and-so. No, Mrs. So-and-so, we're all out of that. Now, if I hadn't considered Elaine, I wouldn't be here now.
Well, I'm at a loss. I don't know whether you're turning me down because you dislike me, or you have too much pride, or you hate what you're doing so much you don't want to succeed. And it would be a pity if it were that.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Barkley. I didn't really mean to say all those things. I don't know. Maybe I'm tired. I don't know. But believe me, please, I am trying. And I am grateful for what you're trying to do. I don't know how to thank you.
No thanks are necessary. Elaine knows that.
I'll tell her when she comes in.
Audra?
Oh, Mother, I've got 2 dresses I've just got to try on.
I might have known. All right, you go home with Jared. I'll drop by his office and tell him to expect you.
I'll see you at dinner.
Bert, you and Elaine come for dinner soon.
Of course. As soon as we can.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Do you have a dressing room?
No, I don't. I mean, they're not ready yet.
Oh, I don't mind. Just anything will do. What's in here?
Well, now, it's just a downright shame you had to see that, girlie.
Take your hands off me. This is Jason.
Sit down.
You heard him. Sit down.
Audra, I'm sorry.
Who is she?
I'm Audra Barkley.
Barkley of the Barkley Sierra Gold Mine?
Yes.
The ironies of life.
She means trouble, Frank.
Nothing we can't handle.
You think not? Her people will be looking for her.
Well, let them. They won't find her. Will they, Mrs. Jason?
Oh, no. No, they won't find her.
Mrs. Jason, hurry, please.
Easy now. You do just like we told you.
Just a minute. Like Dave said, do like we told you.
Yes?
Mrs. Jason, I'm Jared Barkley.
How do you do?
How do you do? I came to pick up my sister Audra. Is she here?
Oh, no, she left shortly after Victoria.
Oh, well, that's strange. She was supposed to ride home with me. Did she leave any message where she might be?
No, she didn't say anything. Perhaps she got a ride with someone.
Yes, yeah, I suppose that's what she did. Well, sorry to have bothered you. Thank you.
Good night. Mr. Barkley?
Yes?
Oh, nothing. It was very nice meeting you, too.
Good night.
That was fine, Mrs. Jason. Now back in the kitchen.
Evening, Sam.
Oh, evening, Mr. Barkley. Waiting up for that gold shipment?
Yep. Sam, did you ever have a younger sister?
Hey, no.
Don't.
Porter, we're through. It's the wood floor. Get the tools. Está bueno. Porter, give me that 2x. There. That'll hold good enough. Let's get these tools and get out of here. I'm hungry.
Mother?
Nick?
Dinner ready?
Well, it's been ready for quite some time. Silas is just waiting for Jared and Audra.
No, as late as it is, they probably decided to stay and wait for Heath, and I gotta eat and get out there myself.
Well, it's a mighty big dinner for just 2 people.
Good. I'm hungry as a bear, and I can't think of more enjoyable company to eat with.
Ah, thank you, kind sir.
Buenísimo, Mrs. Jason. You cook very well.
I'll take the watch with Dave.
All right.
You're unhappy, senorita. Don't you care for Mr. Calder's hospitality?
Oh, Audra, please. Please try and eat something.
No, thank you. I'm not hungry. What did he call you?
I beg your pardon?
Calder. Frank Calder, that's your name, isn't it? Frank Calder, and it has to be.
Audra, what is it?
Don't you see? He's in with him.
What are you talking about? Why would you think that, Miss Barkley?
My brother Nick checked up on you. Where was it? Oklahoma City, Kansas? An outlaw by the name of Frank Calder, him, and you worked for him.
Oh, Audra, you don't know what you're saying.
Don't I? You're not denying it.
A simple name slip, Bert, and she picked up on it.
Shut up, Frank.
Is that proof enough?
Deny it, Bert. Please deny it.
It's true. But why shouldn't it be? With our luck, one failure after another, I'm tired of it.
Well, then that also means you're tired of me if you could do such a thing.
Elaine, it's too late. Way too late.
Oh, Bert, listen to me. No, it's never too late for anyone.
Elaine, you have the store. You'll make out. You'll get over this. And believe me, you'll be much better off.
Bert! All this time, all our plans, Stockton, a new start. Well, you planned this all along. Well, go ahead, go on, kill, steal, do anything you want, if that's what you want to do. And someday I'll make it up.
Very touching. Possibly the best reason I never got married.
The gold train just turned into the street.
Hey! Let go of her! Get your filthy hands off her!
Come here.
Stop!
Frank, what's happening? The ladies are making too much noise. Take them down the cellar where it's nice and quiet. Keep watch up front.
All right, get it unloaded and the drinks are on me.
How was the trip?
No problem.
You made pretty good time.
Well, we left the mine a little earlier than we figured.
How'd it go?
Fine.
Well, nice and quiet around here, isn't it?
Yeah. Say, by the way, you had anything to eat?
No, I guess something later.
And now there's plenty of food over the house. We waited on Audra and you know.
Oh, well, I had dinner over at the...
Audra? Yeah, by the way, where is she?
Well, I haven't seen her. I thought she was home with you.
Mother told me that she didn't come home.
Well, I told you, I haven't seen her.
Well, it looks like we've lost a sister.
Take it easy, girlie. I ain't gonna hurt you. And pretty soon it's gonna be all over.
Charlie, take the wagon to the livery. All right. Rest of you guys get some dinner.
I checked over at the Jason store. She wasn't there. I figured she must have found her way home.
Did you look anywhere else?
No, I didn't realize until now.
Well, let's get started. Heath, why don't you check the hotel? Jared, you check the cafe. I'll check the livery or any other place you think she might be.
The gold's locked in the depot.
Good. Go on back upstairs and keep watch. You two get going.
¿Qué pasó? The bird is dead.
So what? Go on.
It's so hard to breathe. Yeah, it sure is stuffy in here.
I must apologize for your discomfort. By morning, you'll be found and released, I'm sure. must be getting too old for this kind of excitement. It's a good thing I'll be able to retire after tonight. I've waited a long time for this. There's not enough air in here. That's what's the matter.
It's true. The gold is... What's wrong? It's the same in here.
We've got to get them out of here.
What are you talking about?
Well, look at that bird. Look at all of you. There's gas in here from someplace. You must have hit it in that tunnel.
What?
Leave them.
Are you out of your mind?
I said leave them!
They'll die!
We take them out of here and we're dead. He's right. Let's get out of here. Come on!
Frank.
You wanted gold, you gotta get your fingers dirty.
Not this dirty, not murder, not my wife.
Your wife?
If you were gonna leave her anyway.
Come on!
Frank, let go.
She's nothing to you.
I think maybe she is. I made nothing but mistakes all my life. She's the only thing I've done right.
Then stay with her. Tie him up quick. And meet us upstairs.
But, Frank...
I said tie him up.
Anything?
Nobody's seen her.
Did you check the Gordons?
Yeah, Elsie says she hasn't seen her since last weekend.
Where the devil could she be?
You know, here we are beating our brains out looking all around here for her. And if I know our little sister, she's probably home right now getting ready for bed.
If that were true, next somebody would have sent us word by now. She's got to be around here somewhere. Well, let's go find Heath, see if he's had any better luck.
She better have a good excuse.
You know, Frank, the thought of a rope...
Don't think about it. Now we go out the back door. Easy, like nothing's happened. Now, come on! Come on. Our train will be here in an hour. Let's wait across the street.
No one's seen her.
Oh, I don't know.
Well, I'm going to check the store again. Maybe Mrs. Jason forgot to tell me something.
Help! Help!
Well, they must have gone out.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to check back to the ranch. She just might be there.
All right, we'll keep looking here.
Get a wagon. Hurry. We've got to get the trunk. Dave, come with me.
Okay, take it easy. We'll have you out of here in a minute.
There's gas in here. They left us here to die.
All right, come on.
Hello. I've had a change in plans. I'd like my trunk.
So I'll check through them, I said.
Yes, I know, but I want my trunk. It's right back there.
Got your stub?
Stub? What stub?
Baggage stub.
Well, you know me. You know my trunk. It's full of books, remember?
Still need a stub for my records.
Stub, yes. Well, I'm sure it's here someplace. I've got a stub some... Yeah, here it is.
All right. Come in.
Come on, let's get outside.
They're taking your gold.
It almost worked.
Almost isn't good enough.
Elaine, that's too much for you to carry.
Well, these things have to be put out, Bert. We open in less than an hour.
You can't do everything. Well, I am here, you know.
Yes, I know.
And I will be always. So stop trying to do everything yourself.
Oh, Bert, I'm so nervous. No, that's not the right word. I'm excited.
I am too. I never thought I'd hear myself say that and mean it.
Here's to your opening. May it be successful and overflowing.
Oh, champagne.
Right from our vineyards, and believe me, I know it's the best.
Oh, please stay and share it with us. Bert, get some glasses.
No, you're much too busy. We'll come back later.
Tonight, when we're
Mr.
closed.
Jason, do you have a dressing room now?
Well, yes, I just finished it last night.
Oh, good. Now I can try on those dresses I like so much.
Audra, they're not even opened yet.
Sis.
Oh, thanks, Pete. You shouldn't have bothered. I could have saddled in.
Well, I had to saddle mine anyway. I'm going to go to town. Wouldn't ride too far in this heat, though. You'll melt.
Oh, I'm just going down to the swimming hole for a swim.
Well, that's a good idea. If I didn't have to go to the bank, I'd go with you.
I'm glad you can. Otherwise, I'd have to take my bathing habit.
Well, the scenery around here is even lovelier than I was told. Sorry, I didn't mean to frighten you.
Who are you? How did you get here?
I imagine the same way you did. Rode up, dismounted, took off my clothes.
This is private property and you're trespassing.
Well, according to the map in my saddlebag, this is a community waterhole open to everybody.
But you had to cross Barkley Range to get to it.
Really?
Yes, and you'd better leave immediately.
Oh?
I'm Audra Barkley, and I'm ordering you to. Please.
I'll need my clothes, of course.
We'll get them.
They're on that bush.
Stop! Stay where you are.
Whatever you say.
Just let me think for a minute.
I'll tell you what. I'll trust you. You just close your eyes and I'll get out of the water.
Don't you dare! I'll get dressed first and then... Somebody's coming! Oh, they mustn't see us!
I'm willing to take my chances.
Please.
Well, in that case...
Down about a foot.
Mighty low for this time of the year.
All I can tell you is last year this time, this whole area was fine pasture. Now look around. Not enough to feed one head, let alone a herd.
Jace, are you as worried as Nick and the other boys I've been talking to?
Rain 6 weeks late. Hot weather instead of cold. I tell you, it's the start of a bad drought. Just like the kind that ruined my place in Texas.
Jared?
What's wrong?
Drought scares brought on a panic. Run on the bank this morning, cleaned it down to the last penny. It's closed its doors.
All the cash I had was in that bank.
All the cash anybody had was in that bank.
Jared?
Yes, please. Well, we're more fortunate, Scott. The bank closing hurt us pretty bad, but we should be able to stay on our feet. All of our bills are paid, and most of our enterprises are solvent.
Audra.
I'm afraid the rest of the ranchers around here are in debt up to their ears.
Excuse me, Jared.
Oh.
Mr. Breckenridge, I would like you to meet my daughter. Audra, this is Scott Breckenridge.
At your service, Miss Audra.
Audra?
I think Mr. Breckenridge and I have met before.
Yes, I have the same feeling. Where was it? Let me see. I remember. Paris. At the Duc d'Orléans' annual masquerade ball, you went as a water nymph. No? Well, London, then. The Savoy? You were dining with Count,
Scott, I'm afraid you have Audra mixed up with somebody else. Counts in the continent are still just a little bit out of her line.
Well, that's their great misfortune.
Oh, speaking of misfortunes, did you hear about the bank failure?
How awful.
Indeed it is. I'm sure under the circumstances, the family has a lot to talk about, Mrs. Barkley. I won't intrude any further.
You're not intruding at all.
Of course you're not, Scott. I'm only sorry you made the trip from San Francisco for nothing.
Not necessarily for nothing. There's a lot of money to be made in bad times as well as good. If your offer to show me around still holds, I'd like to stay in town for a while.
It certainly does. Why don't you meet me here for breakfast in the morning? We'll get an early start.
I'll be here. Thank you for your hospitality, Mrs. Barkley.
We look forward to seeing you tomorrow morning.
A pleasure meeting you, Miss Audra. I hope we bump into each other again sometime.
I'll see you to the door. See you in the morning, Scott.
Fine, George.
Scott Breckenridge. Is he really as successful and brilliant as they say?
Well, they don't call him the Midas Man for nothing. Everything he touches turns to gold.
Come on, Nick.
All right. Wind him up.
Got it?
Morning, boys. Morning, Nick. Heath?
Morning. What can we do for you?
That the new feed we've been hearing about?
Timothy and alfalfa.
Best quality I've seen.
That store's longer than the other two.
I was gonna try some till yesterday.
Me too. Now I haven't even got the price of a month's ordinary feed. Well, the bank's closed and didn't do any of us any good.
We just talked to Fred Jefferson at the bank. He don't know when the bank is gonna reopen.
If we could get loans on our herds, we figured it might tide us over.
We can't keep going without supplies, Nick. That's why we come to you Barclays.
Well, we got some extra supplies, but not enough for all you boys.
That ain't what we mean, Nick. We ain't asking for a handout. We was hoping maybe you'd make us a loan. Enough to get us through till the herds are sold. Don't like asking, but there's nobody else.
If you Barclays don't help us, a lot of us is going to have to sell to speculators.
We'll lose everything.
I wish we could help, but right now, all the cash we got on hand is just enough for payroll and expenses. It's gonna have to stay that way until we sell our own herd.
Is that all?
That's all.
But what about your mills and the foundry and the mine?
Wait a minute. Not cash, Jace.
But you can raise cash on them, can't you?
If the bank were still operating, yes.
All right, Nick. Then tell us, where do we get the money?
I'm sorry. I don't know.
Well, perhaps I do.
Morning, Nick.
Morning, Scott.
Heath.
Scott?
Boys, this is Scott Breckenridge. Scott, these are our neighbors. This is Titus McKelvey.
Miss McKelvey.
Morning.
Jace Holman.
Mr. Holman.
And Ed Mead.
Mr. Mead. Pleasure, gentlemen. As I was saying, I have money, and I'll be happy to advance you loans in any amounts you may need.
You mean on our herds?
I don't know anything about cattle, Mr. Holman, on your land.
What kind of terms, Mr. Breckenridge?
When is the cattle market open?
90 days.
All right, 90 days at 12%.
That's kind of high interest, isn't it, Scott?
It's twice what the bank charges.
Speculators will ask higher. And they're your only alternative, gentlemen.
You're right there.
I've heard that Stockton cattle are the finest in the valley. Their sales should cover the loans easily.
With the drought getting worse, I wouldn't count on cattle for paying off any loans. You know, you could lose a whole herd. Remember what happened the last drought?
Nick's right, boys. Scott here is a personal friend, but I'd advise against taking him or anyone else up on short-term loans under these conditions.
You ain't hurting for money.
Jared's got a good point, gentlemen. There's a lot of risk involved in short-term loans for everyone.
Guess it's pretty much of a gamble either way, Mr. Breckenridge. If you're willing to risk it, so are we. You got a deal.
Good. Jared, would you draw up the necessary papers?
Boys, I'm advising you against these loans. But if that's what you want, I'll draw up the papers.
Your advice ain't going to feed our cattle. Thank you, Mr. Breckenridge. You got more faith in us than our neighbors.
Well, I'm glad you think so, Mr. Holman. Good day, gentlemen.
All right, boys, let's get back to work.
right, Jared? Anything wrong?
No. I was just thinking about Scott Breckenridge. Wondering why he made all those loans so quickly. You know, there really isn't that much in it for him.
Are you afraid he's speculating, hoping the ranchers won't be able to pay?
Well, I don't like to admit it, but he could be. He's completely unpredictable at times.
How can you say that when he's risking so much money just to help them? Why, if it hadn't been for him, they wouldn't even be able to buy their supplies.
Audra, believe me, he's no philanthropist. He wouldn't risk anything just to help somebody.
Why, you probably just don't understand him.
I know him pretty well. I used to handle some of his legal affairs for him.
Well, I think you're wrong. I think he's wonderful. Absolutely wonderful.
Most women do.
What do you mean?
He means he's like me, irresistible. And he's got his choice of the most sophisticated ladies from San Francisco to Paris. So I'm afraid he wouldn't be interested in you, little sister.
Well, if those women are so fascinating, why isn't he married by now?
One woman is rarely enough for a man like Scott Breckenridge. The need for conquest is too strong. They simply aren't the marrying kind.
Aren't they?
Boy, howdy. Where are we going like that in broad daylight?
Into town.
In that dress? You're gonna get a terrible sunburn.
This dress is the latest thing in Godey's ladies' book.
Well, either the sun's mighty weak back east or those Godey ladies have hides like mules.
Do me a favor. Tell Mother I'll be home later on this afternoon.
I'll tell her.
Bye-bye.
You better get some cocoa butter while you're in town. You're sure gonna need it.
Do you prefer a light or a heavy handle for a quick draw? Good morning, Miss Audrey.
Good morning, Mr. Breckenridge. What a pleasant surprise.
I was just about to say the same thing.
Thank you.
Isn't that one of Godey's latest frocks?
Why, yes, it's called a morning dress.
Yes, all the ladies in New York are wearing them now.
Really?
Oh, they're considered to be the height of sophistication. That one makes you look at least 16.
I'm well over 16.
Well over 16, you don't say.
You're impossible.
So I've been told. Well, what brings you to town on such a hot day?
I have an appointment at the dressmaker's.
Well, may I have the pleasure of accompanying you?
Well, thank you, but you needn't bother.
Oh, nonsense. It's no bother at all.
You really needn't take me any further.
Well, I've seen you this far. I'll see you to the door. It seems that your dressmaker's forgotten about your appointment.
Well, she probably just stepped out for a minute. I'll just wait.
I'll wait with you.
No, it really isn't necessary. I'm sure she won't be long.
Why, I wouldn't dream of allowing a lady to wait alone.
It's awfully warm, isn't it?
Indeed it is.
Maybe my appointment's for next week. I mean, I might have gotten them mixed up.
Really?
Yes, I don't think I'll wait any longer.
A wise decision. Inasmuch as your plans have changed, Miss Audra, perhaps you'd like to have an ice with me at the hotel.
Why, thank you, Mr. Breckenridge. You don't think I had an appointment at all, do you? I suppose you think I came all the way into town just to see you.
Yes, I do. And I'm glad you did.
I'm glad I did, too.
Hold it! You Buckley's blind or something? Didn't you see my iron stuck over there? We saw it. Well, what do you think you're doing? I got 50 head back there coming in here to drink.
Well, we'll be watered out of here by the time they get here.
That ain't the point. It's first come, first served at a community hole, and you know it. You agreed along with the rest.
We couldn't wait, Jace. We found those cows in a dried-up water hole. No telling how long they've been without water.
You still got water in your high pasture. Why didn't you take them there?
They're too weak. They'd never make it that far.
My cows are weak, too. But I wouldn't go hogging the community hole when I had some of my own.
Hogging?
You want us to let these cows die, Jace? If that's what you want, say so.
Let them drink. To my way of thinking, hoarding water in a drought, the same as stealing.
Well, how about a game, Heath?
No thanks.
Jared? Maybe later, Nick. Come to think of it, I don't feel too much like playing either.
And when I got to Paris, I discovered he taught me Italian.
Hello, everybody. Sorry I'm late, Mother.
We were beginning to worry.
Worry? We're about to send out a posse.
My apologies, Mrs. Barkley. Audra and I met accidentally in town, and I was so engrossed in her company that I completely lost track of the time.
We were only concerned about her driving in the dark. Thank you for seeing her home.
Not at all.
Well, as long as you're here, Scott, why don't you stay for dinner?
Oh, yes, Scott, please stay.
Well, if I wouldn't be intruding,
Not at all. We'd love to have you.
I'll tell Silas to sit another place.
Sit down, Scott. Can I get you brandy?
Fine.
The mother?
No, thank you.
Well, what's the latest on the drought situation?
Getting much worse. All the little water holes around are pretty well dried up, and the ranchers are using one community water hole. And that's not working out too good either. Nick and I had a little run-in with Jace Holman today.
Well, it takes courage to handle adversity. It's a quality I greatly admire, but often find most lacking when the chips are down.
Well, you must figure the ranchers have courage, or else you wouldn't have made the loan.
On the contrary, Heath, I think they don't. When the going gets rough, I think they'll fall apart.
And then you'd acquire a great deal of valuable land without having to bargain for it at auction, right?
Exactly.
Well, I disagree with you, Scott. I think the ranchers around here have more than enough courage.
Then I get my money back with interest. Either way, I can't lose.
That's a pretty cold-blooded attitude, isn't it?
A cold-blooded attitude is a necessary part of my Midas touch.
As I remember, Midas came to regret his golden touch. It killed everyone he loved.
I shall try to profit by his mistakes, Mrs. Barkley.
Dinner's ready, Mother. I hope you like chicken Creole, Scott. Silas prided himself on it.
As of the moment, it's my favorite dish.
Nick.
yourself some water, you better quick get to it, because I plan to drink this whole thing dry.
If you don't, I guarantee to finish the job. What's the matter?
Sulfur.
Oh, well, now that's all we need. We bring sulfur up through. Sounded like dynamite.
Yeah, right over that rise.
You set that blast?
Any objections?
What's the idea?
We're dynamiting for rain.
You're what? Dynamiting for rain?
Worked in Nebraska, dynamited 3 days and broke the drought complete.
Probably was due to break anyhow.
No, sir, there wasn't a cloud in the sky.
Jackrabbits are green.
Well, all right, don't believe me, but it's my land, and we'll do what we want.
There's only one big water hole left, and it's getting lower. We gotta do something.
Well, the stream that feeds that big water hole runs right under this ground here. You keep blasting, you're gonna foul it for sure.
It's already beginning to go yellow.
What are you talking about?
We were just there.
Sulfur's leaking into the south end.
We better set these over in the West Canyon.
Be better if you stop blasting altogether.
You Barclays wouldn't lend us money, and I don't notice you sharing water, so don't give us any advice!
Jerry?
Say, young lady, wasn't that your horse I saw tied up in town today?
Well, it may well have been. Why?
Well, usually when you're in town, I can expect a visit. And then the extreme pleasure of taking the prettiest young lady in Stockton to lunch.
Well, I appreciate the compliment, but I couldn't have had lunch with you today anyway.
I gathered as much. You've been seeing quite a bit of Scott lately, haven't you?
Yes, I have. And I'll never be able to thank you enough.
Thank me? For what?
Well, it's because of you that he came to Stockton.
Well, not exactly because of me. He never was one to miss a business opportunity, you know.
Well, anyway, you had something to do with it, and I can't thank you enough. Not nearly enough.
Well, I wish I could honestly say you're welcome. Audra, how much do you think you know about Scott?
Well, to begin with, he was born in New York City in 1841 of English parents.
Now, that isn't what I mean.
I know it isn't. Why do you ask, Jared?
Well, I just don't want to see you get hurt, honey.
I know Scott well enough to feel positive he'd never hurt me.
You're sure?
I'm sure. But thanks for worrying, Big Brother.
You know what you are tonight? An enchantress. A ravishingly beautiful enchantress.
Which one?
Cleopatra, Delilah, Julia, take your pick.
Cleopatra.
I would have thought you'd say Julia.
See how little you know about the real me? What a heavenly night. The stars seem almost close enough to touch.
In Tahiti, the stars are so bright their reflections light up the lagoons at night. They look like silver mirrors.
Oh, it must be exciting to see all those faraway places. Meet all kinds of people.
Exciting, yes. But all kinds of people are usually strangers, especially when you have to match wits with them.
Strangers can become friends, can't they?
Well, friends know your weaknesses as well as your strengths. And a successful businessman can't afford to let anyone get that close.
Well, if there's nobody who's close, then there's nobody who cares. Nobody to share with.
On the contrary, there are many always willing to share. But as for caring, the Tahitians have a saying, translated it goes something like, "He who climbs up the mountain looks upon the lagoon alone."
Is that the way you want it, Scott? Looking down in the lagoon alone?
Up until these past few weeks, I thought so.
These past few weeks?
That's why I took the liberty of sending for these. You mentioned you like pearls.
I've never seen anything so exquisite. Wait, I really shouldn't take them.
Surely an enchantress isn't bound by rules of propriety. Audra, do you want them?
Of course I do.
Then take them.
How do they look?
You look beautiful.
It's been a wonderful evening.
For me too, Audra. I'll see you tomorrow.
Of course.
I'll come by in the morning. We'll go riding.
And I'll pack a lunch. I know just the spot for it.
Till tomorrow.
Good night.
Audra? Did you have a nice time?
Oh, marvelous. Dance and dance and dance and dance. Look what Scott gave me. He sent to San Francisco for them.
Well, they're lovely. Is it some special occasion?
I just said I like pearls, that's all.
Well, I'm sure Scott only meant to be thoughtful,
No,
but...
Mother, I know what you're going to say. That I shouldn't accept expensive gifts. Unless they're from my fiancé. Oh, I know he's going to ask me, Mother. I just know it.
Good morning, Mrs. Barkley.
Mr. Breckenridge?
I received your note. This is an unexpected pleasure.
Thank you.
May I offer you some refreshment?
No, thank you. Is there some place we could talk privately?
Over here? I'm afraid this lobby doesn't offer the seclusion of, say, the Grand Hotel in Paris.
No, the scandal.
I'll wager that half the intrigues in Europe start at the Grand.
Especially the romantic ones.
Yes. At that little table on the balcony, just to the left of the main staircase.
Oh, yes, that French count used to meet his little ballerina there. The one his father tried to buy off. Now, what was her name?
Minette Duclair. Lots of men used to meet her there.
Oh? Oh, she must have been more experienced than she appeared.
Well, theatrical people generally are.
Not only theatrical people. I found in most walks of life, appearances can be deceiving. Audra's a very good example of that.
Audra, deceiving. I don't think those two words go together.
To many, she may seem completely mature. In many ways, she is. But with men of the world, men like yourself, she's young and totally inexperienced.
She has all the allure of a woman, Mrs. Barkley. I hadn't noticed that she was at any disadvantage.
She's out of her depth in an intrigue, Mr. Breckenridge. She could be badly hurt.
Is that what you think I'm offering her, an intrigue?
Men like yourself seldom offer anything else.
Generalities can often be as deceiving as appearances, Mrs. Barclay. Anyway, whatever I'm offering, I think that Audra should have the right to choose for herself.
In most cases, I would agree. But in this instance, I am concerned because the wrong choice could be so very wrong.
You don't have very much faith in your daughter, do you? Are you concerned for her virtue or the Barclay name?
Oh, no. The Barclay name has withstood many severe blows in the past and will withstand many more in the future. Does that answer your question?
Audra and I are spending the afternoon together.
I know.
I never take unfair advantage of an inexperienced opponent, Mrs. Barclay. At least, not unless they're fully aware of all details.
I hope I can count on that. Good day, Mr. Breckenridge.
Good day, Mrs. Barclay.
That's the last.
Half for you and half for me.
What was that?
Oh, that's the ranchers. They're dynamiting for rain. I'm sorry.
That was even more potent than the wine.
How much more, Scott?
So much more that when I leave here, I want to take you with me. I want to show you all the exciting places in the world. London, Paris, Rome. Make myself the envy of every man on 2 continents.
Oh, yes, Scott. Yes, I'll go anywhere with you. Anywhere in the world. Oh, I knew you'd love me. I knew you'd ask me to marry you.
Audra, I didn't ask you to marry me.
Oh, I know, not in so many words.
I thought we understood each other, especially after last night. That we were 2 of a kind, not tied down by other people's rules.
But you just said...
What I just said was an invitation to a wonderful, exciting, romantic interlude with no strings attached for either of us. Strings choke love, Audra. They destroy it, turn it into hate.
No, I want strings. I want to be tied to you for the rest of my life. I love you.
I love you. But love is a thing of wings and wind. Clip those wings and... Well, I won't do it. I can't do it.
What you're saying is that you want me for your mistress, but not for your wife.
What I'm saying is that I want you. That's the important thing.
No, you don't want me. Not really. Not enough.
Audra. Audra.
You're treating me like I was a cheat.
Audra.
I never want to see you again. Never.
Never been a drought like this since I've been in the valley.
It's bound to break soon. All we need's a little time.
I'm standing firm, gentlemen. I want the full amount with interest, and I want it 1 week from today when it's due.
We can't pay by then, and you know it.
Then I'll expect you to vacate the land.
Suppose we refuse to get off.
You do that, Mr. Holman. And this range will be swarming with state deputies within 48 hours. I believe that's all, gentlemen. That is till next week.
You can't steal our land just because we signed a piece of paper.
You ask Jared about that piece of paper. He wrote it.
He's within his rights.
Well, you Barclay's got influence. Can't you force him to give us some time?
Not without breaking the law.
Then you're saying he's right. You're on his side.
Legally, yes.
Jared, how much do you figure on making on this swindle?
I don't think you mean that, Jace.
Maybe he does. Maybe he doesn't. But if it turns out it is true, you'll regret the day you ever saw this valley, Jared.
Scott, I'm going to ask you one more time. Extend those loans for 30 days at the same rate of interest.
I like it the way it is.
All right, then. Suppose I underwrite those loans with mortgages on the Barclay Mills.
That's a gallant gesture, Jared. Too bad your neighbors aren't worth it.
They may be frightened men, but they're honest. And they're my friends.
They have a very interesting way of showing it.
And even if we could break those contracts, it would take months. All assets would be tied up, and none of the ranches would be able to hold out.
He's not a financier, he's a vulture.
I'm afraid you're right, Nick. While everybody else is praying for rain, he's hoping the drought will last.
But just until every rancher who owes him money is beaten into the ground.
Yeah. And when I think I'm the one who suggested he come here in the first place.
Heard Jace Holman pointing that up in the saloon today.
Jared, is there anything we've overlooked that would change Scott's mind?
I doubt it. I've already taken the liberty of offering him mortgages on our mills. He refused. Apparently, he doesn't realize exactly how much losing their land means to the ranchers. Or worse, he knows and just couldn't care less.
Excuse me.
Where are you going?
There's something I have to do before dinner.
What Scott's up to is clear enough. As soon as the drought's over, property values rise, and he can ask any price he wants.
I heard there's talk in Sacramento of finding a way to bring year-round water into the valley.
Well, if they do, they'll have the support of every rancher in this valley, I promise you that.
If there are any left around to give support.
Audra Barclay.
Audra,
May I come in?
I rather thought a bachelor's hotel room was a little out of bounds by your rules.
Please, it's important. I know you're surprised to see me.
After our last meeting, it is a little unexpected.
I didn't want to come. I had to.
Had to? Why?
Because I have to make you understand how important the rancher's land is to them. It's not just property, Scott. It's their whole life. And if you take it away from them, then they won't have anything. Not anything.
They knew that when they signed the contracts.
But they were desperate then. They didn't know what else to do.
And desperate or not, they knew the terms.
And you won't change your mind about the extension.
I don't consider sentiment appropriate collateral.
I see. Well, then I have another offer.
Oh, a mortgage?
In a way.
Well, Jared already made that offer. I turned him down. Flat.
It's not the same as Jared's.
All right, what's your offer?
Myself.
That's an interesting offer. Go on.
If you'll extend the loans to the ranchers, I'll go away with you.
I see.
And I'll stay for as long as you want me.
Oh, there is no limit to the sacrifices you Barclays will make for your neighbors, is there? You place a high value on yourself. That land is worth over $500,000. What makes you think you're worth that?
You and the things you said to me.
Audrey, you have a shrewd marketing sense.
Then you accept.
$500,000 is a lot of money. I'll have to think about it. I'll let you know as soon as I can.
You're the most despicable man I've ever known.
I rather imagined you thought that.
Just like I told you. Thick as thieves. The whole bunch of them.
One more?
No, thanks, Heath.
Gentlemen. Jace, how is your wife?
Fair enough.
Titus, has that grandson of yours started walking yet?
He sure has, Victoria.
Good. Ed, I understand your mother's 70th birthday is tomorrow. I'll send her over some apple cake. I know she likes it.
We didn't come here for apple cake. Or nice talk either.
What did you come here for, Jace?
We figured you Barclays are in cahoots with Breckenridge on this loan deal. That's why you brought him here.
Jace, you're wrong and you know it.
We don't know nothing of the kind.
What are you driving at, Jace?
If you're not all in the same boat, what was your sister doing with Breckenridge at his hotel?
What, you...
Heath, let him finish.
All right. We come for some straight answers. If we don't get them, we'll dynamite till every water hole in this area's fouled and there ain't a Barclay steer left alive.
That won't be necessary.
What do you want here?
When I last saw these gentlemen, I assumed that they were on their way here, so I thought I would come along and clear the air. I took Jared up on an old offer to come to Stockton as a cover-up for my real reason for being here, which was to take advantage of the crash that I knew was inevitable. The Barclays had nothing to do with my succeeding. They're on your side.
It sure looked that way at the hotel tonight.
Both Jared and Audra made offers for bargains of extensions of your loans. Audra's offer was by far the more interesting. That's why she was at my hotel. Audra has offered to go away with me. Anywhere. For as long as I want her. Why she thinks you gentlemen are worth it, I will never know, but your loans are extended. I'm accepting her offer. Audra?
She's not going anywhere.
You may leave now, Mr. Breckenridge.
Well, Audra, did you come to the hotel to play games? Or did you mean it?
I meant it.
Audrey, you don't know what you're doing.
Yes, I do. And not you or anybody else in this family can say or do anything to stop me. I'll pack my things.
Speaking for myself, I don't think I accept your extension, Mr. Breckenridge.
The extensions are granted whether you accept them or not. Gentlemen. On the other hand, Mrs. Barclay, I have no intention of letting your daughter go through with her promise to me. I once said that I admire courage. I had never thought to find so much in one so young and so beautiful. Will you tell her goodbye for me?
I will. And thank you.
I can find my way out.
Mother, do you know what...
To steady your nerves.
Judge needs it.
Thunder and lightning.
The drought's over.
Of course, if it hadn't been for the drought, he never would have come to Stockton.
So much courage in one so young and so beautiful. That's what he said about you just before he left.